The National Rifle Association surprised many Thursday when it said it is open to regulations on the bump stocks that allowed the Las Vegas shooter to fire into a crowd at a rapid clip. But the organization's grassroots supporters remain fiercely skeptical of new gun restrictions. In interviews with Time this week, people who have donated small amounts to the NRA's Political Victory Fund said that the massacre at the Route 91 Harvest Country Music Festival at Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas did not change their mind that restrictions on guns won't make people safer. If we are going to talk about gun control, in my opinion what we need to talk about is punishment for the misuse of any tool or weapon, said Richard Shackleton. Look how many people have been killed in cars or buses. Don't single out guns, because they're an easy target. These grassroots supporters form the bedrock of the NRA's political power. In 2017 alone, over 3,000 individuals contributed to the Victory Fund, which has raised over $4 million. These donors come from all 50 states and include carpenters, truck drivers, attorneys, doctors, real estate agents, just to name a few. Often, these contributions are small. 92% of the donations in 2017 were below $200. After the Las Vegas shooting, Time contacted 56 small dollar donors to the NRA to see if their opinions had shifted. Only 7 were willing to speak on the record. These donors, all of whom represent different geographic regions of the United States, said Las Vegas was a horrifying tragedy. They were not angry with the NRA for Thursday's announcement supporting restricting bump stocks, although one expressed some trepidation that it could lead to more rules. Some were supportive of other regulations like background checks. Advertising in red invented by Teeds. Advertising in red invented by Teeds, but they were universally adamant about preserving their ability to obtain and carry weapons. If anything, Sunday's attack only intensified these beliefs. And, as Time explained in its cover story this week, their arguments were hardly ever about weapons, but about preserving the Constitution and their own independence from the government. Here is what these donors had to say. Richard Shackleton, 84, Long Beach Township, New Jersey, a life member of the NRA. Shackleton is an attorney in Long Branch, New Jersey who has run his own practice for over 50 years. He keeps guns, he says, to hunt and birds, but also protect himself and his family, but also believes the right to bear arms was crucial to the founding of the United States and remains so today. Without the provision of the Second Amendment, without the fact that the colonists had a right to keep arms, we would be singing Hail Victoria, and saluting the British flag, he said. He also noted that citizens in countries where guns were banned, like Germany and Italy in the 1930s, ended up succumbing to tyranny. The fact is that armed people are a free people, he said. Although Shackleton has no opposition to background checks, he does not agree with the argument that the attack in Las Vegas showcases the need for tighter regulation. All of the gun control laws in the world would not have prevented a man from smuggling firearms up to a room in the hotel, shooting out the window, breaking the window and peppering people in the streets below. Ginny Rapini, 70, Colfax, California. Rapini, who is the coordinator of the Northern California Tea Party chapter, donates to the NRA on a monthly basis, and has a concealed weapon permit, which she said she acquired after she received death threats for her role in a lawsuit against the IRS. Like Shackleton, she strongly believes the Second Amendment was written as a form of democratic protection. Any regulations that would impede this language, she believes, would ultimately impede democracy. Our founders know governments are run by humans, and there are times when we see governments outstep enumerated powers, and it's up to the people to be able to protect themselves against the government, she said. Rapini had friends who were at the Route 91 Harvest Festival when Paddock began firing into the crowd. They escaped, and were physically unscathed, but are mentally shaken. It's evil, it's darkness, she said of the attack. But she said, this does not change her view about establishing new gun regulations. She also said there was more focus on the guns than the shooter, even though the Las Vegas Police Department has been giving daily briefings to the media about the ongoing investigation into Paddock and his motive. You can't legislate people's hearts and minds. If he didn't have guns to do what he was gonna do, he had explosives, she said. The interesting thing to me is every time there is a shooter like this the guns are blamed, not the shooter. Arlie Richow, 67, Scottsdale, Arizona. Richow is now an attorney in one of the wealthiest towns in Arizona, but grew up hunting in North Dakota, a sport he